This podcast is supported by patrons. You can find a full list of them in the description of this episode. Good morning, my listeners. This is Wiktor, Doktor, and this is Good Morning BSS World podcast. And today we will focus on one very interesting event which is going to appear at the end of October 2022. This is a podcast with a guest, and my guest is Michael Schwoerke from ACCA. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Victor. Thanks very much for having me.
How are you doing?
Not bad, thank you. Yeah, very excited about a lot of work that's going on at the moment, particularly this big employability event, which we're hosting across the EU at the end of the month. So yeah, busy times.
Yeah, it is not so usual actually to organize an event which is focused on all EU area. Usually there are some job fairs or career fairs which are dedicated to a single countries, and you have decided to organize something what is focused on the whole EU.
Yeah, we have. I mean, the benefit is an online event. It's a virtual careers fair. I'm sure we'll go on to talk more about the event itself, but the benefit of having an online event is that you've got immediate scalability. So before, in the old ways of working, when we would colleagues from ACCA from around our markets, around the EU and indeed around the world, would probably bring together employers and try and introduce them to our members, our students, and other people associated with us in making those connections. We might have in the past rented a hotel lobby, or done something face to face. But now we've got this amazing opportunity to use the digital world and digital platform, which means there really is no limit to the amount of people we can bring in and help facilitate the introductions between talented individuals, people looking for employment from various different places around the world, and employers who are really, really hungry to meet the top talent in accounting and finance.
So maybe let's go a little bit deeper into this idea. Is it the first edition, or already it is a continued because of the previous year's edition, and what people can expect by signing to this event?
Well, actually, it's not the first. No, it's I sort of have to pinch myself when I say this, but it's actually the 27th virtual careers fair that we've run from ACCA. So I'll take you back to the very beginning. We have we have an industry leading job board where we invite a lot of our partner employers. So we have approved employers where we work with them to help them progress our students through the qualification through to membership. And it's a very specific job board for accounting and finance jobs and accounting and finance job seekers. And we get a lot of traffic onto that. It's called ACCA Careers. We get a lot of traffic onto those on through that platform, and it helps us to spread the word around of the fantastic people that we're associated with and the fantastic organizations that we look to that matching with. One of the shortfalls, I suppose, of any job board is that it's just a means to apply for a role. So what we wanted to do is to create or to facilitate real introductions between our members, future members, and by that I mean ACCA members and future members, and also our employers, and in some instances other stakeholders as well. So we designed this this concept of a virtual careers fair, whereby we invite our employers to come along and attend events, attend an event or a number of events digitally, and then we call upon our contacts database. So we send an invitation out to members, affiliates, students, even people who are registered and interested in ACCA that we know have got a genuine interest in accounting and finance, and we bring them together in this platform. And then the beauty again of digital events is that when you register, you present a whole lot of information. So if you picture a face-to-face networking event, you might go along and shake someone's hand. If you're particularly well prepared, you might have a CV with you. But actually, if you register for an event online, so our members, future members registered for this event in the registration process, they present a lot of information in advance that potential employers can see. So it's, I suppose, to a certain extent, we're acting as matchmakers in these types of events that we do. So then we facilitate these introductions. So for the event at the end of the month, employers will have access to this registration information. It might be that members and future members have added their CV, certainly their LinkedIn profile, to their registration as part of the event. Employers will come along, they'll be able to browse through, they'll be able to look for experience, they'll be able to look for where future members are located, a host of different information. And then employers will be able to reach out to those candidates and say, oh, we're really interested in talking to you, so come along on the day. And then on the day, they can have voice calls, they can have text conversations, they can actually have video calls one-to-one with employers. And hopefully then what we're doing is we're just trying to bring everyone together for this, hopefully make some valuable introductions for everyone.
You're saying members and future members, so it means that people who are not connected to ACCA yet can also participate in this event.
Absolutely, yeah, they can. The ACCA Careers, the job board, is open to all job seekers, and indeed it's open to any employers. Across the EU, it's actually free of charge for employers to post their jobs directly and get access to these to candidates. Because of the quality of the event, we rank very, very highly on the search engines. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of your listeners and viewers, if they've searched for jobs in accounting and finance, they may have stumbled across ACCA Careers already. What we mean by future members and future members. So I'm sure you'll be aware that if you're an ACCA member, you've gone through quite a long journey to get to that stage. It's a very high level qualification. It's likely that you've done a relevant degree, or you may have studied towards the qualification and sat each examination piece by piece. And also, to become an ACCA member itself, you have to have documented evidence, 3 years of experience. So that's where we would like to get people to. We want the more members, then the better, as far as our membership base, our employers, and all of our stakeholders are concerned. But we're very conscious that we have a lot of people who are either part way on that journey, or some of them may be considering starting that journey. So they're associated with us. Maybe they've expressed an interest in ACCA, but they've not yet actually started sitting an exam. So for example, take a big segment of that might be university students. So they might be studying towards an accounting or an accounting and finance degree. They know about ACCA. We're one of the professional bodies they're potentially interested in joining, but they've not yet actually signed up. But as far as we're concerned, everyone is welcome to come along to this event and to benefit from it.
And from your experience from the previous years, this is majority of those who are your members or already have some experience on the, let's say, job market, or those are rather those fresh students who are looking for some business opportunities for them and the first careers which they can touch in the accounting world?
Well, I can answer that statistically. We've done a number of events. We have, we're coming up. I think this is 27. Across all the events so far, we've had about 130,000 people who have registered to attend, and of those, 56% are ACCA students. We have approximately 25% who are ACCA members, so they've actually been through the process already, and then the remaining percentage are those who are probably new to the ACCA qualification. So we have 75% roughly of the people who come to the event who are actually already associated with us, and they've probably got an element of work experience in the sector. And then you've got 25% who are certainly, of course, with the members, they'll have all had at least 3 years of practical experience, because that's what they need to have to go through to membership. And then the rest, it just sort of phases down to the people who are interested. Maybe they're inquisitive, maybe they like the idea of the digital event and the additional support it offers, as well as the introductions, so employability support, help with your CV, help with interviews, that sort of thing, which the event also provides. And again, we welcome anyone to come along and to benefit from the event.
Yeah, you are even sharing information about that on the page of this event. I'm having it in front of me, and one of the points is learn how to create an irresistible CV and get free career advice from our experts.
Yeah, that's right. So we, on ACCA Careers, the job board, we have a huge section on careers advice. So what we do is we listen, we constantly talking to our students, we're talking to our members, and they come back and they say to us, what we need more help with our job applications. We need more introductions to employers. So we do that through ACCA Careers. but we also really sort of hone in on it on these digital events. So for the EU of VCF coming up at the end of the month, we have an expert careers advisor who's running a live session in the morning, and she'll be talking about. Her name's Corinne Mills from Personal Career Management. I'll try and sort out a link for you to put into the additional resources for this. But Corinne will be talking live, and she really does a fantastic presentation on. Starts to question the audience. Are you actually interested in this role, and how do you make it obvious to employers that you're genuinely interested, and how do you go through the process of the whole process from considering your suitability all the way through to interview, and then obviously then you've got that daunting prospect of the first few days in your new job. So it's all covered in that example. But also there's resources. We link out to a number of resources. We link back to our own resources, which you'll see on ACCA Careers, and give some genuine advice for and really helpful advice on CV writing. CVs have changed. If you think about, some of our members have probably been employed for the last 10, 15 or more years, and the world's changed, and the way that employers absorb information from potential candidates has also changed. I mean, I won't give away my age, but when I was applying for my first job 20 odd years ago, I was still sending a hard copy CV in the post. Just doesn't happen anymore. There's software, there's systems, and it all depends on how you make your application, and that dictates if you get through to the next stage. So you need to be really savvy. You need to be really clever on how you make those applications, and it's all digital. So that's what we try to put across to the visitors, and try to give them as much support as we can, and helping them get through to the next stage.
I can tell you, Michael, that my first CVs were also sent by post. I don't even recall there was internet available in Poland at that time. So people can imagine how old we are. But anyway,
Yeah.
Now we live in the digital world. But something what never changes, and it didn't change probably in here as well, is that when somebody is applying for a job or is searching for an employer, is interested in who this employer is. So you mentioned that on the fair, the employers have an opportunity to post their information free of charge. Who those employers are?
Well, there's all manner of employers. There's I think we've got somewhere in the region at the moment, and we've still got employers coming to us, by the way. But I think we've got over 120 employers that will actually be participating at the event. So what we do with this really great platform that we use, we invite them to build their own booth. So digitally, they get sent an email invitation. They go in there, they add some graphics to a booth template, and then they can populate that booth with all sorts of information. They can have descriptive videos, they can have links out to their own website, they can have links through to their social feeds, and they can really start to paint a picture for job seekers of the type of employer that they are. Now, not all employers need that. When people come to the events, and actually having a look at the registration page, which we'll share the link, we've already got some big names that are looking to come along. So the big names across the industry. So people have got this idea about what type of employers are looking for roles. But actually, I'd say have a look. You might be surprised at the employers that are actually coming along and participating. But yeah, we give it's effectively giving every employer an equal voice, and giving every employer the opportunity to make themselves look as attractive as possible for future employers.
So having in mind your profession, which is accounting, mainly in this area, I believe that those employers are those who are looking for employees who also are going to have an accounting type of job. So I can assume that those might be representatives of shared services, BPOs, or the consulting companies. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and some banking, insurance, but we also have corporates as well. So don't forget that even the biggest corporates all have accounting. They all have finance functions. So they're looking to bring things in house as opposed to outsourcing to. Excuse me. Let's take a little drink. But the big, even big investment banks would come along and use this event because it pure and simply gives them access to to a very distinct type of talent, which is the ACCA membership and the ACCA membership pipeline. So yeah, there's a broad range. Some are very much household names, some are very much global household names. And I'm afraid I can't sit here and name them all, because I wouldn't want to name a few and then not name the others. But it's very very easy for your listeners, your viewers, to go and look at the registration page and have a look at the types of employers that have signed up, and of course attend on the day.
So I will make it easier to you, and I know that you shouldn't even mention them name by name, because all the others may think, oh, he didn't mention us. But you mentioned banking, you mentioned some consulting. So let me guess. From the banking sector, JP Morgan is with you?
I believe they're registered. Yeah, they're confirmed to attend. Yes.
Okay, let's take one from the Big Four. EY is with you?
Yes, they are. Yeah, we're happy. EY have been very supportive of our virtual careers fair since they started, and they have a lot of success from them.
Okay, so then the last one, but not least, of course, let's say from the big corporates who are well known all around the world, Coca-Cola is with you?
I believe they are, yes. So Coca-Cola will also be recruiting at this event.
So there is a big possibility that all big brands are actually attending this fair, which you are organizing. Okay, on the webpage, you are mentioning that it starts at 8 a.m. and it ends at 8 p.m. This is 12 hours.
Yeah, it's another thing with digital events. You wouldn't have that sort of longevity you wouldn't have that long a day if it's a face-to-face event. Everyone's chatted. If you're standing, you're having face-to-face conversations. The employers they specify when they sign up to us, and when they complete their booth, they specify what time they're available to have conversations with people. So let's take employer A might be manning their stand, as it were. Their chat page might be open for 2 or 3 hours in the morning, 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon. Another employer might have multiple people who are coming in, so multiple people from the resourcing team, and they might be available for 45 minutes every hour. It very much depends on the employer itself. The chat functionality or the networking area within the event itself is quite straightforward to use. When you go in there, it's very similar to I guess, to WhatsApp. So you have group conversations, but you also have individual conversations, and you can take those individual conversations off to do a call or a video or continue to text. And if the employer's online and they're ready to talk, they're looking to talk to people, they show as being live. They have a little green dot that appears on the networking suite to show you there's someone from that employer in that booth and looking to talk to people.
So it may mean that anytime during the day, if somebody is actually interested in talking to a selected group of employers, there is a huge possibility that anytime they can find somebody interesting to talk to.
Absolutely, and we find that the typical behavior of candidates is they dip in and out during the day. So that's why we made the window as large as possible. So 12-hour event, it gives enough time for people who want to come in before work, if they're currently employed. Maybe they can work it around their studies, or indeed maybe just any free time they have. They can also come on using their mobile, so they don't have to be sat in front of a PC or a laptop. There's a mobile app, which is, once you register, you're sent further information on how to download that mobile app, which means you can continue to talk to employers and make these connections on the go.
So maybe for the end of our talk, before we will say where to search for the information about this fair, any tips and hints for candidates, because I guess they are targeted in this fair. Yeah, this is for people who want to change their job or to apply for a new job. Any tips and hints from those last 26 editions?
Yeah, I'd say the most important thing is to be as thorough as you can with your registration. So be accurate. When you go through the registration field, as you'll see on the landing page, you can enter details: name, email address, ACCA status, but also we ask you to put where your nearest city is, your country of residence, your LinkedIn profile, and please also make sure you upload your CV, because if an employer is looking for someone of your maybe your ACCA status, so maybe you're a student, you're a member, the search functionality will come through, and the first thing they'll be looking to do is look at your CV. So you can put in your CV as it is today. You can even look at the ACCA careers page, get some careers advice. You can maybe improve or update your CV. Make sure it's up to date, and also just be ready to have that conversation. If your profile's of interest to a recruiter, then it's likely they will pull you off into a video conversation. So maybe I'd suggest not be sat there first thing in your pajamas. Make sure you're ready to have a business-like conversation, because they do happen at each of our events.
So the more business details people share, the best they can get out of the fair.
Absolutely, yeah. It's to treat it like you would any other careers fair. If it's face to face, you don't get long to make a first impression. There's the opportunity here at these events to apply for hundreds of jobs if they're relevant for you. One final bit of advice as well is apply for the jobs that you are genuinely interested in. There's enough jobs that are visible that you can browse them. You can browse them by location. You can browse them by seniority. Just really take the time. To concentrate and to make sure the jobs you take the time to apply for are suitable for you. And I think hopefully you'll be very successful in those applications.
We are living in a virtual world now, especially after the pandemics. So I'm wondering how many of potential employees will search for employers located in completely different countries than they are placed at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, again, it happens. I mean, one of the reasons we break down our events, what some people have asked us before, why don't you just have one big careers fairs, one big careers fair, and link together all the different countries in the world and all the different employers around the world? I mean, first of all, it'd keep my team and I awake with the amount of organising that would take. But actually, the EU is a very, very distinct market, very distinct set of countries, and of course, we go into there's no restrictions on labour. So, if you're in an EU country, you can go and work in another EU country. That's one of the major benefits of the EU. What we can't do, really, from an employer's perspective, is open up the EU Virtual Careers Fair to a country where there's not that really easy transfer of labour. So let's take a couple of countries in the Middle East or a sort of Southeast Asia. There's a lot of people in particular markets of ours that would be really, really keen to come and work in the EU, but actually, unless the employer is offering working visas or supporting ways into the country, it's not really practical. So although the ACCA qualification is completely globally mobile, and that's many of the reasons that people sign up for our events, for the virtual careers fairs, we try and restrict the people that we actively invite to those who are eligible to work in those in the sort of the markets where the event is hosted. But then, of course, as we said when we first started the conversation, the fact that we're using digital technology, we can have these events that are scalable to the size of the EU, and to make it EU wide, or sometimes we have in the past we can shrink them right down to particular markets. So the last careers fair that we ran was in the Caribbean, so a much smaller scale.
Caribbeans. I guess this is for me rather the travel destination for holidays, not for work. But anyway,
nice? Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I spoke recently to some people from Jamaica and from the call contact center industry, and I must say that they are very well developed over there and putting a lot of attention to this business area. Anyway, but now we are focusing on the European Union and the Virtual Careers Fair. So thank you very much, Michael, for being my guest in the Good Morning BSS World podcast. I keep my fingers crossed for having many new candidates who may go into this fair and choose their future work in those hundreds of offers which are being prepared by the employers.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good luck to all candidates. And I'll just say again that everyone is very, very welcome to register and attend.
26 October 2022, live all day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see you there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Wiktor.